All right, welcome everyone. It is Tuesday, August 6th. It's about noonish. Let's see what time it is. What time is it, Andy?
Emphasis on ish.
Ish. So it's about 12:17. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your lunch hour. My name is Tim Marlowe, host of Be the Better Local. We got Andy Vargo on the mic.
Hey, everybody.
And also my main man, Adam. Say what's up, everybody.
Hey there, everybody.
So we have, he has an event coming up this weekend. We're going to talk a lot about it, what to expect, vendors, and kind of the story behind it. But before we get to it, we want to kind of talk about Tote Bag Tuesday.
Right, we got Tote Bag Tuesday right over there on 6th Ave. So
6th Ave.
Get your lime green tote bag and go fill up with the deals.
Yeah. So for those that don't know about Tote Bag Tuesday, you want to go experience Tacoma like a local. 6th Avenue has dozens of businesses down there where you can get deals and coupons on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And so that's what you get to do.
You show them the bag, and if you don't have a bag and you have your own, maybe you don't want to carry a lime green bag, whatever your issue is with the bag, bring in your smartphone and show them your BD Local app and get the deals that way.
Exactly, because you're not going to leave your phone.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Can't
we know
go
that.
anywhere without the phone.
Nope. So we want to say a special thank you to all of our sponsors out there: BD Local, Shop Local, Share Local, Be the Better Local.
Smart advertisement. Are you advertising smart?
Northwest Motorsports, Trucks, and More Trucks, and
Andy Vargo, Awkward Career. Be sure you own your awkward.
there you go. So this weekend, though, let's go ahead and head into it, Adam. I want to learn more about this. These guys got to know you a little bit more, so I'm excited about it.
It's got some depth.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Martin, Adam, what are you doing here, and why are you here today? Before I spill the beans, because I'm a podcaster and I can continue to talk all day long. So let's talk about a little bit about you.
I'm here today more or less to promote two things concurrently. A music festival that's built on a bedrock community festival that came out of our music scene from the early 1990s, when right before the Northwest music scene broke international and more or less changed the world. This music festival was right there in the current mix of that, right at the sub-scene. And last year, that was Music and Art in Wright Park. And last year, they deemed their last year.
Wow.
So this is my refusing to let it go, believing it's important for everybody, artists especially, and then taking the festival and then converting it to focus on the intent of an organization I run called Artists for Life and the Sound.
Yeah.
And the idea is to highlight social need and solutions to it.
So this event has a really long history right here in Tacoma. We're not starting something new from scratch.
Well,
we're
that
adding to the recipe and making it even better is what it sounds like to me.
That depends who you ask.
Okay.
It is definitely a new festival.
Okay.
None of the old crews involved. I hope they're supportive. I have changed the format, not undramatically. I have also brought in some different elements that weren't there in the past, and I'm hoping that it resonates well with everybody involved.
All right.
Well, hopefully, as long as you embrace it and you embrace it with confidence, the community is going to follow because the cause is there. You know, to be able to help the homelessness, the youth homelessness.
And that's why I was just going to ask you. So this is music and heart.
Yeah.
And where does the heart come in?
Well, the old festival was called Music and Art, and a lot of what I do with Artists for Life and the Sound focuses on what you would consider matters of the heart. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted a festival, an event, a space, if you will, that's really unconstrained so far as artistic expression goes, but somewhat focused towards the needs of our life and times. It's a place where artists, visual or musical, can come and speak to the issues that matter to them in a way that's not forced, constrained, otherwise directed outside of their own desire to promote. And then my own emphasis on it is I worked with the Hope Victims Advocacy Foundation, have for about 4 years, and they're right here on Hilltop. And they help women, and not particularly women, especially women, but really survivors of trauma due to abuse.
Traumatic events,
Yeah. And they help people get out of and reestablish after those circumstances for no charge. To do it for almost 20 years and not be known in Tacoma, to me, is a bit odd, considering
Now, are they a part of the event itself? Like, I mean, obviously you want to be able to help promote for their cause, but I mean, who are the companies and the organizations that are kind of helping you put on this event to help promote for that overall
Well,
cause?
I would say that the partners in the event depend on how you look at it. There's going to be a beer garden by the X Group, so that's E9 Brewing. You know, world-renowned beer, literally awards all over the world. You got La Paloma Marketplace, who does the vendor market.
Oh, yeah.
Artisan.
Thank you, Molly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Molly's great. She's coordinating vendors for it.
Yeah.
We have 19 bands,
Wow.
coming around for it. We have Diversified Sound is giving us a great deal and a great setup on our audio and stage system. Alex Donahue over there is a solid, legit dude, and they do really fantastic work. So
Now you've got
looking forward to
19
that.
bands. Is that one stage with band after band after band, or are there multiple stages? How's that?
No,
set up?
what I've decided to do is to keep as much of a musical flow going throughout the entire.
Is that someone looking for you?
No, my phone's over there.
We have currently a phone, but it's okay.
All right.
We'll just
We'll
let
go
you know
through.
you have a phone call.
Thought I handled that.
It's all good.
The
Popular
so what we're gonna do is I don't know how much I want to divulge of our stage setup. I want to leave some of it a surprise. There are certainly there are two surprise elements for the stage that we've deviated from previous years this year. Um,
Do you want us to get that for you?
I literally turned that thing off. I must have turned it back on when we were. I'm sorry about that.
That's all
everybody.
good.
It's all good.
Do you mind if we go ahead?
I
and-
would. You could just throw it in the toilet. You could
Do you
just
mind
let
getting
that
it?
thing go.
Yeah, we'll get you.
So we'll keep going, and despite of the ringtone here, it definitely happens.
And I'm sure
We're all
that's someone
human,
who
and-
is reaching out to help support music.
Yeah,
art.
and they
I have
really
no
want to
doubt
be
on
able
that.
to. They
'Cause
probably saw you in the
right now,
notification.
just
you're
live,
live,
they're
and they're
already
like,
doing
"Man,
it.
I have
Yeah.
got to get a hold
They got to
of
get
this
a
guy."
plug in.
Yeah, it's like Adam. How can we help right now? We're
Yes.
down to a few days left.
Right,
And,
live comments.
yeah. So,
So the stage has we have a guerrilla art installation going in with the stage this year, and I'll put it this way: we're going to keep the music as continuous as possible.
Okay.
awesome.
So I've got a wide range of genres. So the previous the previous festival was essentially it was rooted in punk.
Okay.
And while I
Okay.
brought the spirit of punk in, I took it back to its early days of punk, when people from all over the music community got together,
Sure.
and they basically couldn't afford the pay-to-play system.
Okay.
And this modality converged on multiple cities
Yeah.
around the world,
Sure.
and it became what we considered punk.
Right.
But it was like the Talking Heads with the reggae bands, with what we consider punk bands, with straight up folk. So I decided to do that with this festival, and just really bring as broad a range of community around the youth experiencing homelessness. I think people aren't even prepared to deal with that situation.
No, they're not.
Realistically. And it's important that we know, so that those that do have a heart for it and do care are able to meaningfully contribute. A lot of the times we don't always speak in ways that a person unfamiliar with circumstances can understand, and they're not able to adequately perceive the real situations out there. And the hope for Artists for Life in the Sound is not to dramatize things. It's not to sugarcoat them. It's just to present things as they are.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be rolling live interviews that day with Radio Tacoma on site, interviewing organizations like the Oasis Youth Center, who's been working with youth on Tacoma streets for a very long time. The Coffee Oasis, which is new to Tacoma,
Oh yeah.
who has a sustainable youth shelter, which Tacoma does not have a youth shelter. We have what we call a youth center for adults that are 18 to 25, but we
Right.
have nothing for anyone under 18. And it's the most vulnerable population.
Sure.
So the idea...
And probably almost the quickest to get back on your feet, if you can
If you
address
catch-
the
yeah,
early
help early enough. Yeah.
help early enough in the youth before it becomes years of stabilization on the streets. If you can address their issues early in the game, then maybe you can help prevent years and years of street activity.
Life on the street is extraordinarily difficult for anybody who's in it. You're in a constant state of survival. You're not able to to do much else than survive. You're finding every day a place to stay, a way to eat, a way to protect yourself, all of those things. If you mix that in with being literally 8 and 10 years old because you come from an abusive family, maybe 12 or 13, you have extraordinarily vulnerable people in a predatorial situation that is laced with every form of decadent humanity that you don't want them to engage. So getting them out of that environment is critical.
Yeah. Wow. And I can see why this is such a big event, because it's not just about the art and the music. I love the cause, the overall cause to bring the attention to, like what you were saying. It just, we need to address it fact after fact and be real with it, because it's so real for so many people.
It is.
Well, when we look at youth homelessness just right here in our area, how does that look on a scale? Like, do you have any idea of how many people are out there?
The numbers are disheartening. 2,000 of the 200,007 people that live in Tacoma, Washington, are under the age of 18 without a consistent place to live.
Wow, that's a lot of people, a lot of kids.
And a lot of these are in transitional states, so they're in and out of foster care. Sometimes the CPS system, to put it bluntly, is abusive itself. A lot of people won't want to hear that, but the stories are wide-ranging, and no one seems to. It's not even a secret. It's openly known. It's a very difficult situation to address. Your foster care system itself is discriminatory in many ways that are. I'll leave to the specialists. But what I've been doing is I've been speaking with heads of organizations and those involved really at the person-to-person level. They've heard testimony for 30 years of people, what they've gone through. My idea and my approach is not to say that I'm an expert. It's to relay information that experts have told me and to provide a platform for these experts to engage our community at a broader level. We like to think, I think in general, that we have so many solutions already covered. Like we've done that, we're good. And that's just not the case.
I think it's the case for, maybe, like you said earlier, there's so many resources for adults that are 18 and older. And so
Very
them
much so.
saying we've already done that, but it's not specified to the needs of actual youth. Yeah.
And also, like, just getting the word out to the youth of where to go to get any services once they are available. It's like making sure that people know, because you see stuff on social media or around, but this is somebody out on the street without a phone or without access to some information. So if someone's not out there actively outreaching and finding people that need help, they're not even going to know what limited services there even are.
And to be honest, this past Labor Day, even to give you a personal example, I was walking home, and I came across a 15-year-old with no place to go. I called Adrienne that following morning. I worked with her for 3 days to get this young woman help. It took us a month to find adequate resources for her and some of the circumstances to work out. During that time, a young woman, impressionable, on the streets. If you're someone that walks these streets and you are open, you will see the problem.
Oh yeah. Wow. What are we hope to accomplish from the work that you're putting in? Not only now, that sounds like years of work that you've put in prior to this event coming up, but what do you hope to accomplish from the event and what's to come afterwards?
I'm going to create a cycle of awareness.
Okay.
So that we have an ongoing platform for those with important contributions to this dialogue to engage a broader and broader public population.
Yeah.
So those that desire to be informed can be, and those that desire to meaningfully contribute to solutions can learn how to, what steps to take, how they might prepare themselves to be of adequate service.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
So this event is just 4 days away. It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
What can the community do now to support the event and help? And at the day of the event, how can the community get involved? What do you need from people to help support this event to make it a success?
The truth is that right now we've got an extraordinary lineup. The music, I don't know how much time I had to go into each of the artists.
Scott.
From Colin Scott Reynolds is one of the You know, I used to call him the voice of Tacoma, and self-corrected. There are many voices in Tacoma.
Sure.
You know, Kim Archer, Vicky Martinez,
Mm-hmm.
Nico Case. They're all their own entities. Colin is one that I feel is underheard. He's a brilliant, brilliant musician. And then you have people from Seattle as well.
Sure.
You got Intezar Gibran, who has an ethereal quality to her sound, and you have Dondi here, who's local. She was just featured on Q13 Springtime
Yeah.
segment. If people didn't see her, so she's in the folk range. Sam Bogle is a young musician with a talented crew. If we're fortunate and lucky that day, we'll also have the trumpet of Kendon Worley on stage, but it's going to be up to...
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Nice.
But we've at least got Sam Bogle's trio. And I don't have the list in front
No,
of me.
you're good.
but
You know what I
that's
like
good.
is
Just a taste of it.
is the intimate passion that you're delivering, knowing that you know these people, you know the musicians behind their work,
I
and
do.
and you can already see the expectation of the listener day of because of the performances that these musicians have brought to the table.
As I've been
before.
putting the set list together in the time, I mean, I'm excited. I mean,
Good.
and
'Cause you should be.
In no exaggerated terms, I'm looking forward to what transpires
Yeah,
on those days.
and that's something that I just want to bring to the table is that even though that you are covering a massive issue, even homegrown issue here in Tacoma with the lack of resources for youth homelessness, we still want you to come out and have a good time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a tremendous time.
Right.
And what people can do to help, honestly, Andy, we could use money, we can use sponsorship, we could use businesses to say, you know, we support these things. Whether we like it about our world or not, what gets attention are those things which have the greatest numbers of people behind them.
Yeah.
And individuals are one thing, but when you talk about people in office, they're looking at businesses.
Yeah.
And I would love to engage our business community and say, you know, can we support these kinds of things? Are we about that?
Yeah.
You know, there are hard costs for the event. I've foot quite a bit of them myself. We do have sponsors, but that's one way people could genuinely
Yeah.
help. But that said, the event is solid.
Right.
E9 Brewing. We have Bliss Ice Cream coming with food.
Yeah.
We have
Great food.
many vendors. Yeah. The stage setup itself is special. It's going to have a great sound. We've got an international radio host out at Tacoma
Nice.
doing our MC for the event.
Perfect.
He's like the pedigree punk
There you go.
tradition, Stench Radio, and it's
Yeah.
it's a solid event for people. Anyone who wants to come enjoy themselves in a shaded park with 600 trees.
Right. Right.
They're right in the heart
So
of Tacoma.
we're talking about
Yeah.
Wrights
Wright
Park,
Park,
yeah.
and Stadium District this Saturday, right?
It's gonna be
Yep,
great.
this Saturday.
This
and
Saturday.
It starts at 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
11 a.m. goes to 7.
All right. Yeah, so you got all day. Get
Yeah.
down there. I'm gonna have a booth there, so I'm excited. I'm gonna be
Yeah, we'll be
hanging
down
out.
there hanging out in the park
So-
and seeing what we can do to help as well.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
What after today and after the show here, and how can people contact you? I mean, yes, you need help for the event. It's only 4 days away, but after that, obviously, the help continues after the big show. So, how can people
does.
contact you if it's not for this week or this weekend further on to be able to help and help the cause?
We have, you can go to the website right now, musicandheart.org.
Okay.
So music and heart, all spelled out like heart and soul, .org. And contact us if you want to be part of this, because as this cycle of awareness unfolds through the end of the year and into 2020, what we are going to use is every form of media that we can, podcast, television, radio. We're going to get out there and we're going to go into post-production. So everything at this event is going to be recorded. And then we are going to take this and post-production,
Oh, yeah.
which costs money to put things, the editing process is not,
Right.
it's intensive, it's labor intensive, but it's subjects worth engaging in.
Oh, yeah.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to make different, more or less segments apt and fit for different modes of media.
Sure.
I don't think that this has ever been done, and not out of the South Puget
Right,
Sound.
right.
And what we're going to do is we're going to marry that with a project that came out of our music community called the Stars for Peace Project. So I called them the Stars of Destiny and the Stars for Peace Project. It came in 2012. Vicky Martinez was coming home from The Voice, and from her international tour there, or national tour at least, into the Pantages Theater, and through a cause of the universe unexplainable to me, we crashed it with a luminary procession, as it were, and a lot of them were illuminated stars. and she was born on the International Day of Peace
Okay.
in that great year 2012 that
Right,
had
right.
all of those epic connotations. And so we just owned it.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to have a future, what do we want it to be as a people? What quality of life do we desire? And how do we desire that to manifest in the most beneficial way for all of the people involved? From those that are the best, well done in society, they have no worries and concerns for the most part, down to those that are the most vulnerable, that frankly there are solutions for if we desire to engage on.
Yeah. And listen,
beautiful.
because they have a voice. Yeah.
And I love how you talk about it being a cycle of awareness and not stopping, because it's not just a one-day event. It's not a one-day problem. It needs to continue to get support and awareness.
Yeah. And not to squirrel moment too much, but we just spoke with Quabi outside right before the show, and Quabi runs the Peace Bus campaign, and he's about to head down to Mexico Friday, I think, Friday or Saturday, and he's heading down. He has a whole crew, and he's heading down there, and we're actually going to go shopping for clothes and blankets on Thursday for him.
Fantastic.
The reason being behind that is that we want to be able to do more for your cause. That was, we saw him walking on the street because he works across the street, and so we just yelled at his name, came across, and I was like, "What do you need?" And so, what is it that I think that I'm going to tell you what I can do here. We're going to be able to. Man, I just lost my train of thought because that whole
squirrel went by
It was
again.
that squirrel moment
But
again.
you were talking about how you want to help more and what you
Right.
want to do and what you can do.
Well, we'll figure that out in
There's
a
something
moment.
we can do, and we're going to do it.
We're going to do it for
That's
you.
the point of that. Right there.
What it comes to is that this is an issue that we can address all over our city.
Yeah.
And the more businesses and the more individuals that come forward and contribute at any level,
Yeah.
the more it shows that from Proctor, where Molly is, to the 6th Avenue, where my office is, down to the Tacoma Dome, where other friends of ours are, down to Stadium District, where other friends are, to the east side, to the south side.
Yeah.
We all over this city, there is strong support for this.
Yeah.
This is not, and it needs to be visible, and it needs to be well known.
Okay, that thought just came back. So we're becoming a donation spot for Quabi and the Peace Bus. So since he's going to be on the road, we're going to be accepting donations locally here, then shipping them out to him wherever he's at on the road to be able to hand out as his travel goes along.
Awesome.
I'd like to use BD Local in our location here to accept any donations that you may need throughout the city if you don't personally have your own brick and mortar. To be able to just help collect anything for the youth homelessness and then redistribute or just give them back to you in order for you to redistribute them.
That'd be very generous of
Yeah.
you. We should talk. So what we've done in the past with the Stars for Peace Project is, if you want to see what we've done with the Stars for Peace Project, go to peacestars.online. What you'll see there is the essence of what we've been doing. I try to be very conscientious when we give directly to need. So, not to disparage how organizations raise money, but very, very oftentimes when you donate clothes to a clothing drive, they're really converting that. They're selling those to for-profit businesses for operating costs. And the jacket that you gave doesn't go to someone in need. And this is a perfectly ethical way for them to do it. They do that all over the United States every day. But you probably intended that coat to go to someone in need and not someone who could spend $30 on it.
Sure.
And so what I did some years ago now is I set up a way for people to, we put barrels in Bluebeard Coffee,
Okay.
who also supported us financially at that time. Urban Exchange, we've since been in Restyle. I want to say we had 9 different businesses around Tacoma to start with.
Okay.
And we've spread from there. At different times, Copper Door when it was in Stadium, those kinds of places.
Yeah.
Quality places, Terra Crux Games downtown. We have a network of people that have already shown a desire to do this. And what we did is we created a model. We just asked people for quality goods, see the Stars for Peace, and consider what you can give to the people that we are giving to, and here are what our needs are.
Yeah.
Put them in these buckets. They're big barrels.
I think I saw them, the big blue barrels. I think you had them wrapped or something like that. Or maybe, were they barrels?
The ones that we had were larger ones, and I'll give you some numbers in a minute that are fairly impressive. I didn't have a car at the time. So I didn't say how I was going to do it. I just said it needs to be done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kind of like this festival.
See the need and figure it out as you go.
And that's what I did. No, there's a local manufacturer. I don't know if he would want me to tell him who it is.
That's okay.
But he's local. He's a big community supporter too. And one of the byproducts of their product are these barrels, and they're very clean, and they're cardboard, and they're waterproof.
Oh, nice.
And,
Wow.
And so nice combination for the kinds of things that we
Right.
were doing. They're waterproof from the inside, I should say.
Okay.
And so what we did is we had people drop off any items that they thought would be useful for specifically victims of trauma
Sure.
due to abuse and homeless and students. And we've given through local schools on the east side. We've given direct to need on Hilltop. So everyone knows the process. We bring everything in, we sort it. Each one of these barrels, and I had 9 around the city, picking them up on average of once a week. Some places more than that per week. Each one of these barrels would fill the whole trunk of a mid-sized car and half the back seat.
Wow, that's a lot of.
It's a lot of clothes in one.
That's just
in one
9
barrel.
businesses or 9 locations.
Yeah.
And so what I demonstrated is that with coordinated effort of like-minded people, we're able to accomplish qualitatively more
Oh, yeah.
than anyone wants to say for some reason that we're able to do.
Yeah.
And we've done it successfully. And now I have a surplus of clothes. So I stopped collecting clothes for a moment while I figure out how on earth I'm going to sort women's clothes, because a size in men's clothes is easy. Oh, you know what I'm talking about. A size small in women's clothes can also be extra large, and extra large can be like medium. It doesn't matter what the tags may well not exist.
Sure.
So I need to engage a community. That's another way people could help.
Yeah.
If there are some women out there with a background or some experience in sorting clothes, and if there's a local business that would like to, not to use the Spaceworks name, but to Spaceworks us independently of that system and say, or even Spaceworks, here are clothes, that we need to get, but we have to have space to. These are a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
But they go directly to real need, and we've given to.
That's beautiful.
And what we can't distribute ourselves, because sometimes there are people that are in vulnerable situations where their privacy must be absolutely acknowledged and respected. We then partner with organizations that we know without a shadow of a doubt contribute direct to need.
Nice.
Directly.
Yeah. Well, currently right now we have Adam Martin on the microphone, and we're going over all of your stuff that you have going on. And man, it sounds like we can talk for hours just about everything you have going on. I mean, we've only scratched the surface, it sounds like. And so one more time, if you don't mind telling our audience how we can reach out to you and donate, either become a donation spot or help this weekend. Again, tell everybody how to contact you.
Probably the best way to learn about the event would be to go online, www.musicandheart.org. We've been seen on King 5, so you can Google New Day Northwest, King 5, Music and Heart in Wright Park. You'll find that. KISW just dropped us on a blog yesterday. You can find that on Facebook. If you find the Music and Heart in Wright Park event on Facebook, you can see that.
And then now here locally on BD Local.
As soon as I get this, y'all will be on there too.
Awesome.
Give me that link.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for coming on board. I'm excited for the weekend and obviously what the community can do to help further the cause.
I would be generously
Appreciate you.
Maybe we can follow up about the season, how this cycle will unfold in time. Maybe we can come back after the festival.
I'd love to, man. Appreciate it.
Beautiful.
Tim and Andy on the mic. Be the better local. We'll be right back.